It's very different from the last cycle. This is going to look almost unrecognizable. It was amazing. Almost, I mean, everyone PR'd at least one lift. Most people PR'd all three. And a lot of people over exceeded their PR by a number of pounds, like up to 20 pounds over their projected PR. So it was very fun to see. And it was really surprising. Like, I'm not surprised that people are stronger than they think that they are, but it was surprising to see people going for it and really not letting fear hold them back. So that was really encouraging to see. That means that they're stronger now in their 40s than they were in their 20s, which is really amazing to see that they couldn't lift this much when they were younger and in their so-called prime, which I don't really agree with. But yes, like, people say that your 20s to mid 30s is kind of the prime of your athletic performance, and people are beyond that in their 40s, like exceeding the amount of weight they used to be able to lift. So it's very exciting to see. That's the beauty of the focus program, because you don't have to just have someone just standing there staring at you. You have someone you're almost a little bit maybe competitive with, but also friendly with, and you can also encourage each other too. So depending on the dynamic, there's a lot of people that have kind of teamed up, that they start to kind of rely on each other. I've seen that more this last cycle, people wanting to have a specific workout partner that they connect to, and they push each other and they help each other, right? And they spot each other, and there's this trust and camaraderie that comes with it that is a little bit more, I think it's deeper in the focus program than you would have in a larger group training setting, where you just don't have the time and there's so many people. It's a little bit more, I guess, intimate in that way. But people are making some pretty good relationships too, which is fun to see. We go on 3-month cycles. That's kind of the larger view. And then we'll narrow it down to just 1 month at a time. But every 3 months, we kind of reset a macro cycle, and then we start the next micro cycle. So the large view is going to be, you start lighter reps, you get a little bit heavier in that mid-range, and you end with really heavyweight low rep, which is what we just finished up with. So we're now kind of at the beginning of a new larger cycle that will take us through the next 3 months, so through the new year. So this will take us to 2025 for the next 3 months. But this next cycle is going to be Monday, October 21st through November 15th. So that's what we have coming up ahead. This next month, though, because we're coming off of sometime people's first heavier cycle, we're actually going to go into an eccentric overloaded cycle. So we are teaching people how to do tempo training. It is a way to make a lighter weight a little bit heavier, but also it really will drive form home. We're really going to almost reset teaching foundations again, really working on our form. We just went really heavy. Sometimes to get that maximal load, form can go a little bit out the window, not totally, but just a little bit. So we're just going to reset everything, reboot the system. We'll be lighter weights tempo training for the next month. We'll teach how to read tempo workouts if you got one from a coach in the future. It's a 4-number code, and we'll teach you what those numbers indicate about which parts of the lift you're doing how many seconds of a hold on. And then next month after that, we will go into our classic hypertrophy cycle, but we're introducing kind of a supersetted form of hypertrophy, which will be very fun. Joe taught me this, and it's like a code that looks like a crazy mathematical equation. And so we'll be utilizing that, but it's a great way to get a lot of reps in a short period of time. So we'll be doing a high rep cycle after that. And then we'll go into our strength training cycle month 3, but we're going to utilize the safeties, and we're going to do like a pin press, pin squats. So now we're overloading the concentric end of the movement. So month 1, we're overloading the eccentric, was the lowering phase. Middle of the month now, we're just going to reset with high reps. And then the last month, we're going to overload the concentric for our strength low rep cycle. And then we'll start over again. That would be mid-January. We are doing eccentric overloaded movements, and we are teaching tempo training for month 1. So we will break that down a little bit more in each class, day 1, like week 1, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday of next week. So I won't reveal too much of that, but in terms of the exercises, we'll be doing a deficit deadlift. So it's a deadlift standing on a platform, so a plate or a riser. And we're going to be going beyond the range of motion that we would normally do just taking it from the floor. It's going to be a very lightweight. We're really focusing on the tempo and exceeding the range of motion. We're not focused on going heavy this next cycle for the deadlift, but that will be on Monday. And then we'll be doing, it's mostly a posterior chain day. So lots of glutes and hamstrings work. We are focusing on bolstering hamstrings more this cycle. A lot of our members and people that we've seen, just generally, we don't train hamstrings as much, but a lot of people need that specific focus. So we thought, why not share the love? We're just going to have everybody do more hamstrings. So doing some of that. And also we're introducing more work capacity because we are not training super heavy and needing as much of that energy to go towards just lifting a maximal load. We're going to reset systems also by promoting more blood flow, promoting more recovery from this last cycle. So we're going to be doing a little bit more like metabolic training. So thinking cardiovascular conditioning. And we're going to sprinkle that in. We call it work capacity. So the end of all of our sessions, maybe the last 10 minutes, we'll be doing more sleds, we'll be doing rowing, we'll be doing echo bike. So some things that the drive tends to do a little bit more of that the focus hasn't done as much of. We're going to be introducing that into our focus program more. So that'll be on Monday. Wednesday is a push-pull upper body, and Friday is like a push-pull lower body day. So it'll be barbell incline press and a banded pull-up, bands across the J hook. So you'll be standing on top of the band. So that's our main push-pull lift for Wednesday. Then again, we're ending with some more upper body focused work capacity. We'll have some progressive movements that'll be in plank, weighted plank and push-up movements. For some that aren't able to get the push-up yet, we're just going to do maybe an eccentric overloaded push-up or just body weight, working on that. So we'll be able to tailor it to everybody's level, but more upper body focused work capacity. And then Friday is going to be like a push-pull lower body. So we'll be doing squats again. And we're also going to introduce a partner assisted Nordic hamstring curl. And that's an eccentric overloaded movement. So they'll be using a band if they need to, but I'll demonstrate that when we get there. But that is going to be heavy eccentric. And then they might just use their hands to help assist on a concentric. But again, that's the focus of the next cycle, is all eccentric overloaded movements. The 26th of October is going to be that final Saturday. So we'll wrap up the last cycle. We'll debrief about it, share PRs, and then we'll introduce and talk about this upcoming cycle a little bit more and have a Q&A. And we're going to be doing a little bit more activities this time, not like a workout, so to speak, but we are going to be moving a little bit more and interacting with one another more this time. So we're going to keep the meetings fun and interesting and keep mixing it up. So we'll do something a little bit different. We already met each other the last week, so we'll be getting to know each other even more in the coming focus meetings. I would say I noticed that some people are a little bit hesitant about the work capacity, hearing that we're going to be doing a little bit more, some conditioning and cardiovascular training. And I would say try not to sweat it, which is a little bit of a pun. You will be sweating a little bit more, but try not to worry about it too much. We're not just going to hit the ground running. We are still focused on strength training. That's still the focus of the focus program, right? So it's just kind of a finisher. It's only about 10 minutes towards the end. So I wouldn't try to come in worried. I know some people were talking about almost, do I need to have supplementation for this, like electrolytes, and they're a little bit concerned about it. It's really not something to worry about. It's just going to be building a little bit over the weeks, increasing a little bit more work capacity, but it is a finisher. It is not the main event. So it's still going to be strength training, and I guess enjoy a little bit lighter loads and really working on honing in the form and the technique without having to worry about heavier and heavier weights. So I'd say, I guess, you're welcome to them for the lighter loads, but also just using it as a training and a teaching month to kind of improve our form to then be able to lift heavier again in the future. And that having better form will help you lift heavier loads. So it all has a purpose. Every month does. So yeah. Great. Of course. Thank you. I know. It's exciting. Yeah.